Okay, it's 8:45 and now it's time to form the loaves and put them in the rising baskets. So I sweeped out with just a brush the flour from last week, and now I'm gonna put a new coating of flour on the bannetons, um, using the same rice flour as last time. And the breadies have been having their bench rest for the last 45 minutes or so. So you just take a handful of the rice flour and sprinkle it sort of in and around the sides, and do that until each one is, kind of coated at some level. Now, in the last few years, I've added one step to the bread making, which is that I try to squeeze the air out of them. Um, this means that the final loaf doesn't have large air pockets and air bubbles in it. That's something that some people look for. I mean, some people look for having a large air bubble, air pocket type uh, loaf. That's what we used to make. But ever since the kids have been going to school and I've been making a lot of sandwiches for lunch, I find that big holes in the bread doesn't hold up so good for sandwiches. So I do this bubble wrap, bubble bursting business, which is a new step. Forgot I had 5 loaves, so I have to get my last. So this bubble wrap step, like I said, I find it removes the likelihood of there being big holes in the bread, which, like I said, some people like the holes, some people don't. But I'm aiming for more of a sandwich bread, so try to get rid of them. Now, this is probably the hardest step of the process for beginners. But like I have said before, in the early days when I made these loaves, I was a beginner and I found everything was pretty forgiving. So let's just see how it goes. Let's make some space. Okay, weird. Camera angle is all weird. I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay. Just make some space over here. Alright. So this side, I turn it over. So it's sort of floured side down. The side that was down is the side that was up is down. And I'm going for sort of a rectangular shape. So pick it up. Again, don't claim to be an expert on this. Most of this I just sort of watched videos and figured out my own technique. I don't claim that it's particularly good. It's probably wrong in some respects, but it's been working for me just fine. So I keep with it. Stretch it out into a sort of a rectangle. And then fold it over. Now I go for the bubble wrap. I do this sort of flattening it out, and I don't know if you can see these bubbles here. You're gonna do little farts, little bubble wrap bursty noises. could maybe use a rolling pin or something like this, like that for this, but I have just been using these parts of my hands, whatever they are. Alright, when I have it sort of rolled out like that and degassed, as I said, I used them to do this step. And I go around the sides with the tool, and I fold it over into the third, flip it back up around this way, kind of a roll shape, and then I turn it 90 degrees. It took itself under itself like that. I'm going to kind of a shape of the baton. That's what I'm trying to go for. And you can see these surface bubbles. I don't like those bubbles on the surface, so I pop them. And then I get the baton here. I can show you that. Just plop it in, just like so. There you go. Now I'm going to do the same thing for all the loaves. Let me just show you one more, I guess. Take this guy, turn him over, flour side down, and we do the same thing. We just try to get him into a rectangular shape. Squeeze out any air that's in there. Again, I don't claim that this is a correct technique per se or well motivated. It's just what I've developed over the last number of years, and it works for me. But the person who taught me how to make this bread didn't include any of this kind of stuff, and her bread is fantastic. That's rosy, so just feel it out yourself. So now we're in the bubble wrap zone. Here's some of these nice pops and squeaks. Again, if you're going for a Instagram loaf, you might want to leave these big holes in there. That's not what I do. Alright. Now, where's my thingy gone? Over here. Yeah. Flip it a third of the way in. A third of the way in. Over itself, get in, and turn it 90 degrees, tuck it in. Look at that guy. This one, I have a longer baton, so I'm going to try to make this guy with this guy a little longer side. On video. Pick him up and then plop him in. Here we go. Why don't we do one more with the other camera angle? Let's try it out. See how that works. There we go. Alright, let's give this a try. Alright, let's work with this guy. He's the big one. Yeah, so what I might do, he's a bit of a big one, so I might take a chunk off him. We'll donate it to those guys later. Same deal, just try and get it into this camera angle looks a bit better. I can feel the inconsistencies in the dough, places where it's a little bit not so moist, kind of clusters, perhaps dry ingredients or drier ingredients. Sometimes you can spend some time working them out if you want. I find since I started adding the seeds that doesn't happen as often. There we go. Here's a nice boy. I'm going to turn him over like that. There we go. Now let's go get some bubble wrap squeaks. I might put in one of the round bannikins, so I'll just sort of, rather than forming a log shape, I pull it towards me and then turn it and pull it towards me. Turn it. Now I can see some sort of nastiness here, I think. Well, I shouldn't say nastiness, but kind of drier. Dough there. I think that's because I did an hour or 2 hour long gap between my stretch and folds. Part of the dough got a little dried out there. It was on the top. I'll just stick it in the bottom there. No one will ever know. In the big one there. There we go. Well, I might as well do the other two since you're here. So let's get the smaller of the two, I think. Pull them out. He's full of air. I can feel just air packets in him. Like he just feels not dense. Gonna float away. Very fluffy, wobbly, air-filled inside. Now, this is the piece, the off-cut from the Big Daddy, and I just throw them in like that. Roll it up, and then go squeak out those farts. Same deal as before. Go. And one last guy. Oh yeah, he's also full of air. I can feel him. I want to reiterate that this bubble popping whack-a-mole business is only something I've adopted in the last 2 years or so, when I've been going for a sandwichy sort of loaf. So don't feel compelled to add this step if you don't want it. Just whatever. I found pretty much this business to be very forgiving. Regardless of what I do, it always comes out kind of okay. Round loaf again. We have a round Benetton. That's it. So these boyos will spend the night in the fridge, and then we'll bake them tomorrow. Alright, so I'll see you tomorrow.